If you're a podcast host, listen up, this one's for you. My name is Allie Jackson. I'm the host of Finding Mr. Height, a dating and relationship podcast that I've been doing for 4 years now, sharing my positive and practical approach to dating that's built on my own life experience. And I wanted to share another experience that I've had, my secret behind monetizing my show. It's called Red Circle, and I was just telling my colleague about how much I love their platform. With Red Circle, not only am I getting a seamless hosting experience, but I also love the support I receive in ad sales. It's not just typical ad sales either. It's targeted opportunities based on my show and my life. And the platform is super simple. You just set your preferences and Red Circle matches you with sponsors that align with your show. You can vet every opportunity and their platform gives you great analytics. More recently too, my Red Circle team has brought me opportunities outside of my podcast on social media to really augment the podcast partnerships, bring them full circle. I just can't recommend them enough. If you want to give it a try, go to redcircle.com to get your free trial. That's redcircle.com for a free trial.
Tea is tea. India's food regulator, the Food Safety and Standards Authority of India, FSSAI, has issued a clarification reaffirming that products labeled and marketed as tea must be derived exclusively from Camellia sinensis. The clarification aligns India's regulatory framework with the long-standing international definition of tea established under ISO 3720, first adopted in 1977. Under that standard, tea is defined solely as the product obtained from the leaves, buds, and tender stems of Camellia sinensis, processed by accepted methods such as withering, oxidation, heating, and drying. FSSAI's clarification does not prohibit the sale of herbal or botanical beverages. Instead, it clearly distinguishes between tea and non-tea infusions for labeling, marketing, and consumer transparency. So why does all this matter? From a consumer standpoint, the decision resolves long-standing ambiguity in the marketplace where herbal blends, spice infusions, and caffeine-free beverages have often been marketed as tea, despite containing no tea leaves. Regulators say the clarification helps ensure consumers know what they are buying, particularly regarding caffeine content, functional properties, and traditional expectations associated with tea. For the tea industry, especially in India, the response has been broadly positive. Producers and trade bodies view the move as reinforcing the integrity of tea as an agricultural product, protecting the value of origin-based teas, and aligning domestic standards with international trade norms. Some marketers and wellness brands have expressed concern that the clarification may require changes to packaging, product naming, and promotional materials, particularly for products commonly sold as herbal chai or chai-style blends that do not contain tea. Regulators, however, have emphasized that such products remain fully permissible, provided they are accurately described as herbal infusions or botanical beverages rather than tea. EU's tradition is significantly different. In European countries, the word tea is allowed to serve as a consumer shorthand for infused beverages while relying on ingredient disclosure and claim controls to protect accuracy rather than enforcing a strict boundary on Camellia sinensis. FSSAI prioritizes botanical precision. Both views are agreed on preventing consumer deception. Markets will continue to define meaning, diluting tea's agricultural identity, and may ultimately weaken global standards. India is among the world's largest producers and consumers of tea, with globally recognized categories such as Darjeeling, Assam, and Nilgiri. Industry stakeholders note that clear definitions help preserve category credibility amid growing importance of premiumization, geographical indications, and export competitiveness. By reaffirming an internationally accepted definition rather than introducing a new one, India positions itself firmly with global norms governing the tea trade and labeling. Business Insight. Is tea fundamentally a plant or a practice? FSSAI states unequivocally that tea is an agricultural product defined by Camellia sinensis. It is a standards-based view appropriate for regulators. Consumers, however, understand tea as a beverage category defined by how people buy, prepare, and consume it. As tea continues to evolve across wellness, specialty, and lifestyle segments, spin-off as CBD tonics, supplements, and lozenges, this debate is unlikely to disappear and may intensify as regulators, brands, and consumers negotiate where categories' boundaries should sit. TBiz has published the State of the Global Tea Industry 2026 forecast, a multi-part project examining the structural forces now reshaping the global tea economy. This initial release focuses exclusively on the global outlook, setting aside country-level and regional deep dives for later in the year. The project is designed as a working forecast, one that frames what the industry already knows, but often struggles to act on. The forecast opens with an overview and a framing essay that asks a central question. Why does the tea industry continue to under-respond to risks that are well documented, widely discussed, and increasingly structural? From there, the report outlines 6 core global trends. The first identifies climate volatility as no longer a cyclical disruption, but a permanent operating constraint affecting yields, quality, and costs across origins. The second trend examines how Asia's demand gravity, driven by population growth, income expansion, and domestic consumption, continues to reshape global trade flows and pricing power. The third finds that while the long-discussed global tea surplus is narrowing, misalignment persists between what is produced and what markets increasingly demand. Trend 4 addresses tea pricing, concluding that prices remain structurally stable but undervalued relative to rising production costs and capital needs. The fifth trend highlights labor constraints as a quiet but growing limiter of future supply, particularly in traditional producing regions. And the sixth explores how trade fragmentation and re-export hubs are redefining market access in an era of tariffs, sanctions, and geopolitical risk. Each trend is published as a standalone brief supported by data, historical context, and open questions rather than fixed conclusions. TBiz will publish the final 6 global tea trends next week. Business Insight. This forecast is not positioned as a finished report. It's a framework for collaboration on the LinkedIn platform. Tea is too fragmented and conditions are moving too quickly for any single voice to get it right alone. TBiz is inviting producers, traders, policymakers, buyers, and researchers to challenge, refine, and contribute to the forecast as it evolves. The most valuable insights often emerge not from agreement, but from informed dissent. Visit tbiz.com online or the TBiz blog and podcast page on LinkedIn. Asia Siyaka Warehousing, Sri Lanka's largest tea auction logistics provider, has achieved a global first for the tea industry, becoming the world's first and only ZeroCarbon certified company in tea auction logistics. The certification was awarded by the Sustainable Future Group following a full measurement of the company's greenhouse gas emissions, implementation of reduction initiatives, and the offsetting of residual emissions through verified carbon programs. Asia Siyaka Warehousing operates a purpose-built warehouse complex of approximately 200,000 square feet with the capacity to store up to 11 million kilograms of tea at any given time. The facility plays a central role in the Colombo tea auction system and handles a significant share of teas moving through Sri Lanka's export pipeline. Importantly, the entire warehouse operation is covered under the ZeroCarbon certification rather than selected zones. The facility already held LEED certification, making Asia Siyaka the first tea logistics operation globally to hold both LEED and ZeroCarbon distinctions. It is also certified to ISO 2200, supporting food safety and quality assurance standards. Asia Siyaka Warehousing is wholly owned subsidiary of Asia Siyaka Commodities, one of Sri Lanka's leading commodity brokerage groups. Managing Director Anil Cook said the certification reflects a commitment to responsible operations across the value chain, noting that Sri Lankan tea is already internally recognized as the world's first ozone-friendly tea. Chief Operating Officer Siyaka highlighted additional benefits, including energy-efficient storage that preserves tea quality while strengthening appeal in sustainability-focused markets. Cook said, quote, "Running a carbon-neutral warehouse allows the producers and exporters relying on our services to cut part of their supply chain's carbon emissions. It helps them meet international sustainability standards and satisfy environmentally aware buyers. This pioneering achievement gives our clients a distinct competitive advantage," end quote. With this milestone, Sri Lanka becomes the only tea-producing nation able to demonstrate sustainability across plantations, packaging, warehousing, and export logistics. TBiz Insight. When sustainability moves from branding to infrastructure, it stops being a promise and starts becoming a measurable competitive advantage.
Produced by Audavita Studios. Connect your voice to the world.